Tonight, we're sitting down with the Secret Service to find out how the agency is cracking down on EBT thefts along the Gulf Coast. We're now learning a two-day operation in California resulted in multiple arrests and nearly a dozen skimming devices removed from stores, saving taxpayers and food stamp recipients more than $8 million. It's the first time we are hearing of a government agency investigating this human tragedy. Our Natalie Williamson live in the studio right now with your late reporting. Natalie, the agency in charge at the Secret Service in Mobile watched your series, Faces of the Forgotten.
That's right, Lanish. Jennifer Nissen heard of the stories of the 4 victims of EBT theft. Tonight, she wants them and anyone who feels ignored to know her agency cares, and they're doing everything they can to end this human crisis.
Well, it's heartbreaking. They're not forgotten. I can tell you my agency is very serious about this crime.
Tonight, for the first time, we're sitting down with the U.S. Secret Service in Mobile to find out how the agency is cracking down on EBT fraud. It's a story we continue to cover. Last year, nearly $350 million of taxpayer money intended for the most vulnerable, stolen from EBT accounts throughout the nation. With that in mind, the U.S. Secret Service is cracking down on this nationwide crime. In just 2 days, agents in California arrested 10 people and removed 20 skimming devices, saving taxpayers and food stamp recipients an estimated $8.4 million. So we got in touch with the Secret Service here in Mobile to find out what's being done in our area to help these crime victims. Resident agent in charge Jennifer Nissen tells me they're working with local law enforcement to catch the ones responsible for stealing these benefits. Why hasn't this been stopped?
So each state kind of contributes to how their state funds get distributed. And I think each state is very invested in making sure these funds don't get stolen. But it is like crime is very difficult. So as soon as we implement or the state implements a safety measure, then somebody finds a way to steal in a different manner.
Nissen says fraudsters can use skimmers to steal your information, but the majority of the fraud happens online. She says once the person gets your information, they can sell it on the dark web to someone who can use the money in another state. While I was with Nissen, I told her about our series, Faces of the Forgotten, and she openly watched the first part, hearing the stories of the 4 victims who have had their accounts drained, leaving them feeling helpless. What would you say to people like Christopher, Cameron, Amy, and Miss Liberty who say they feel forgotten?
Well, it's heartbreaking. They're not forgotten. I can tell you my agency is very serious about this crime. Our director was in California on the street, going out with our agents, store to store, place to place, looking for skimmers last week. We are working these cases, and my federal partners are working these cases, and I know our local sheriff's department and our local police department are. We care. They are not forgotten. And the fact that they feel forgotten is terrible.
Nissen says it's important to realize the people who rely on these funds need this just to get by.
They're not making a fortune off of their EBTs. This is not a windfall or a lottery. This is basic money to help them with food. And I think that it's something that's very important, and they shouldn't feel forgotten.
Nissen also encourages people who have had their funds stolen to report it to law enforcement as soon as possible. Live in the studio, Natalie Williamson, Fox 10 News.